I'm going to quickly try to explain the theme park situation. As a child, I mean, a small child, literally, I was just born. My grandmother took me. Like, she realized that my mother was neglecting me and she took me. And then a couple of months later, my mother called her up and was like, hey, uh, did I have a child? Me and Ronnie are fighting, and he says I had a child, but there's no child here. And she's like, yeah, I've got her. And from then they started wanting me to come back home. And I would have to go back home for a couple of days, and then I can go back to Mima's. Until I started school, which my parents wanted me in their district for the tax write-off. So I would stay with my parents Monday through Friday. And then Friday afternoon, when I got home from school, I would be packed and ready to go to my grandparents. They would come pick me up. I would take my schoolwork and everything. I would go to my grandparents, and they would bring me back home Sunday night so that I could go to school on Monday morning. I also stayed with them for every school holiday. Summer break, spring break, Christmas break. I was with my grandparents from day one till the school started again. Kathy had children the same time that my mother was having children. During summer breaks, my grandmother would drive up to Georgia to visit her other children, Kathy and Martha, and on the way, Marion and Reynold. And since I was with Meemaw, my grandmother, that's what I called my grandmother, Meemaw. Since I was with Meemaw during the breaks, I went up to Georgia with her. And I went on those family vacations with Kathy and her family. Now, the reason this has come up recently is because Kathy wants to show pictures of me at Universal Studios and say, well, where was your brother here? As if she didn't know. So I had to ask her, you're right, my brother was not there. Where were my sisters? Why was I the only one? The reason is because my grandmother couldn't take all of us. She took me because I was born in her car, and she had a special attachment to me. She knew of the abuse in that home, and she couldn't take all of us out. So she chose to just take one of us, and that was me. And Kathy believes that the life my grandmother gave me should overrule the life that my parents gave me. And it doesn't. And there is no amount of good life that can take away the damage that is done by the abusive life. And she'll say, well, your sisters aren't dealing with it like this. Okay, good for them. If they're doing better, I'm proud of them. And good for them, but they're not me. And I'm not them. And we have never been the same.